mga kaibigan. Welcome to In My Toolbox. Of course, your weekly talk show for your personal finance only here at PHLV Radio. Mga kaibigan, the goal of this show is to give you financial information that you may be able to use on your day-to-day financial decisions. Of course, mga kaibigan, we will unbox topics that hopefully will be able to guide you, aid you, and maybe even add to your financial tools. Mga kaibigan, we will tackle important information mostly not taught in school, but of course is much needed to empower you financially. You know, as usual, in any idea that will transpire in the show, always consult with your financial advisors, insurance professionals, tax consultants, of course, mga kaibigan. Again, my name is Enrico. I'm your host. I'm a sales, marketing, and of course, an entrepreneur, financial professional. You know, so mga kaibigan, if you want to get in touch with me, there's always going to be an easy way to get in touch with me, right? So, you can email me at enrico.inmytoolbox@gmail.com, or maybe just simply Google my name, Enrico Pobre, and I bet you will not miss it. But, of course, I miss everybody, right? So it's been another week, another episode of In My Toolbox. Mga kaibigan, we will be tackling a very good topic today. Investing in the Philippines. I think one of the previous show here in PHLV, somebody actually asked about investment. So we will be tackling a little bit about investing in the Philippines, but more so on a very specific investment platform. So in the Philippine economy kasi today, mga kaibigan, with the continued recovery and reform efforts of the government, well, the country is actually getting back on its track, and it's actually going do the right way. From a lower middle income country with a gross national income per capita of about $3,600, in the dollar form, last 2021, to an upper middle income country. Can you imagine, guys? From 3,600 2021, now it's in between $4,200 to $13,000 per capita income in the short term. See, mga kaibigan, we're talking about Philippine economy now. The GDP growth is set to moderate about 6% in 2023. So that's the current number of the GDP growth, right? So especially now, when you hear the news, mga kaibigan, well, we are in a challenging, maybe an external environment. But despite the fact, we're still hitting that number. Now, BSP, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, actually has hiked the policy rate to 6.25%. Well, this is actually helping anchor the inflation expectation. So over the next decade, what's going to happen in the Philippines, especially in the economy, the forecast is the Philippines is going to grow, take note of this word, rapidly, with a total GDP increasing from the USD, of course, the US dollars, $400 billion in 2021 to guess what? $830 billion in 2031. So that's where we're actually going in the Philippines. So the key growth here, the driver for this one of the rapid growth, of course, in the private consumption spending, of course, buoyed by strong growth in urban household income. So before 20 years ago, maybe you would see people really having this hard time of getting just to make ends meet, right? But right now, the urban household is actually in that track. So in the Philippines, of course, some people will be asking me, or, somebody has asked you maybe, is the Philippines considered a developing country? Well, I will tell you right now, yes. And not only it's because Enrico's saying that, so, right? So the World Bank actually classifies the Philippines as a developing economy. So that's a good leverage, right? So the Philippine economy right now is the world's 32nd largest economy by the nominal gross domestic product, that's GDP. So this actually corresponds to the, you guys familiar with IMF, right? International Monetary Fund in 2021. So the country is actually said to be the 12th largest economy in Asia. Can you imagine that? 12th largest, we're talking about economy in Asia. And then the third highest economy in the ASEAN part. Third to Indonesia and Thailand. Now, the capital city, which we all know, of course, Manila, has been the principal city of the Philippines for 4 centuries, and it's actually the center of the industrial development as well the international port of entry. So for those people who are not, maybe familiar with the capital city yet, Manila, that's where, that's where I grew up, by the way, guys. So now, if you want to live in the Philippines, if you're asking yourself, hey, do I want to live in the Philippines? Well, Philippines has a very reasonable cost of living, so, well, aside from the delicious local cuisine, oh my God, crispy pata, oh my God, I can't imagine that. Kare-kare, whew, all right? And there's an abundance of beautiful, Johanna, I'm not talking about women. Okay, beaches. There are plenty of advantages to living in the Philippines. There's a lot, really. Aside from tourism, food, the people. I was just looking at this YouTube channel, and a lot of foreigners are just talking or asking Filipinos, are you the happiest people in the world, right? So, and another thing, most expats, they find it easy to integrate or immerse into the local Filipino community. So the lifestyle of the people in the Philippines is just awesome. So most expats really starts off living in Manila. Well, again, that's the capital, and in Manila, it has the most Western amenities. And when you acclimatize yourself, the lifestyle, the Manila is easier to acclimatize for, especially for Americans, right? So the malls, they're Americanized malls, or let's put it in a different perspective, Filipinized mall, right? So we have high-rise condominiums, which is, I would want to talk about that later on. And then, of course, the fast food again, if I may just tell you again, there's various options. And of course, why not, move to the Philippines? So in the Philippines too, the cost of living, we're talking about that a while ago. So a single person, can you imagine you can live off $600? You have a budget, an average budget of $600. Well, you can live comfortably in the Philippines. $600, right? So that's about what, $70 to $100 a year? You're good. I'll take it anytime, man. Right? So, well, with a family, this is going to be a different story. With a family of 4, at least $2,500 with a family of 4. Well, I guess here in the United States, $2,500 is not enough in a single, if you're single, right? So the average net income, if you have $2,500 with a family of 4, you'll be good. The monthly cost of rent in the Philippines is maybe as high as $1,000, for a 2-bedroom apartment. I'll take it anytime too. So the reason why I'm talking about investing or living in the Philippines, because we have a guest today. Woo! All right. So, of course, she's dear to my heart, and she will be able to give us light to what's happening in the Philippines, especially if you want to live in the Philippines as an option, or if you want to invest in the Philippines, especially using a real estate platform. Okay, so let me just introduce our guest tonight. She's been in the real estate industry for the last 12 years. Maybe she started when she was 5 as a real estate agent, and she's also a licensed broker, where she actually represented, of course, respectable developers such as Ayala Land, Aboitiz, and now she's the head of sales of a very prominent brand called Group Ortigas Land Corporation. Let's all welcome Miss My Garcia. Here we go. Hi, My.
Hello. Thank you for having me here. Good evening, everyone.
Of course, it's a pleasure to have you. It's actually, we're so lucky to have you tonight.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Mai, I know, what do you call this? I know we talked about, I introed about investment in the Philippines, but I would want to tackle a certain part of that investment, While the Philippines, the Philippine economy is really soaring high right now. We're in the right track of getting to the point of, being called a developing country. That's good. So I would want to talk about investing in the Philippines. But before that, let us know you first. I know you're the head of sales of Ortigas. I'm sorry, Ortigas Land. Tell us more about what you're doing.
Well, I'm the head of Ortigas Land, or sales of Ortigas Land. We have been in the industry for 92 years.
What?
If you are familiar with Green Hills
Oh wow,
Center,
I like that Green Hills.
The big subdivisions in Pasig City. You have your Valle Verde.
Oh, wow.
You have your Green Meadows. Those are all
Corinthian,
developments.
is it part of it?
No. But those are all developments of Ortigas Land.
Okay.
And through the years, we had by 2014, we had a synergy with Ayala Land in SM Prime.
What? It means when you say synergy, you
They're
partner
part
up
of
together?
the board.
Wow.
So when that happened, we had several high developments. So it fast-tracked our project launches. So since then, we've actually opened our estates in Ortigas East, Capitol Commons, if you're familiar with that area.
Yeah.
Ortigas Central Business District is still a prime area for us.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. I head the international sales as well, and also the residential leasing.
Oh, you have residential
we can
leasing.
talk about that later. Yeah.
Wow.
So definitely Ortigas Land. I just want to share. Ortigas Land is not known in America.
Okay.
You know why? Because we haven't actually done international selling. Because every time we launch a project in the Philippines, all the investors in the Philippines scramble for it.
Oh, wow.
So we always
That's
sell
how
out
it is, right?
just
Wow.
by the local investors. But of course, that's why we're here in the US, because we also want to give opportunities to our kababayans in America to get a piece of that opportunity.
That's very good. I like it. The reason why I would want to talk about the real estate in the Philippines, I remember how it. Well, I'm not that old yet, but I remember how Makati was before.
Yes.
40 years ago. Is so different now. You would not really see it that way, and I bet the people that invested during that time, 40 years ago, is now enjoying the equity of their investment today.
Definitely. And especially when we were launching, because I was with Ayala for a couple of years, when we were launching the Bonifacio Global City.
Yeah, the BGC. It was nothing
just
before.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And in the next 10 years, it grew to this. And now you cannot find any more open land that's for sale for developers to be in BGC. Now everyone wants to be in BGC.
Exactly, yeah. So it takes a vision, to make it happen. Definitely. So again, we're talking about investment. So investment or living in the Philippines, what do people need to know when they purchase condominiums in the Philippines? A lot. It's been so many years that that the international market was bombarded with condominiums in the Philippines, right? But still, some people bought it just because they want to buy it, but they don't know really the moving elements of buying or purchasing condominium in the Philippines. So, what do we need to know in buying condominiums in the Philippines as an investment?
For me, first you have to know what is your objective.
Oh, okay.
Are you there to earn from that investment immediately?
Okay.
Or you're not in a hurry. It depends on what point are you when you invest.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Another thing is, are you going to use it, or you just want to have do you just want to have a property in the Philippines
As an investment property.
as an investment property?
Okay.
So definitely those things you have to know first. But what's good about investing in the Philippines, and what you should really know first, is that, for example, if you want to purchase a property in the Philippines that is at pre-selling.
Meaning pre-selling is the building is not there yet.
Yes.
I'm buying the air.
Yes, that's the story.
Okay, the story, yeah,
yes.
that's right.
So what's good about investing at pre-selling is that you're getting it at the most, the lowest price point. So definitely, developers usually do price increases every, let's say, a few percentage of sale. Like, for example, you've sold, let's say, 100 units or 200 units for that particular project. You get a price increase of like 3 to 5%.
That's an equity now.
Yeah. So if you purchase at the launch price, let's say, and then and normally that finishes after 5 years.
Yeah.
You normally already earn an increase on the original price at 20 to 30%.
Wow.
So if you want to sell it, you already earned.
Well,
that's one thing.
That's a good thing, right? So when you buy a property, mga kaibigan, on a pre-selling, and there's a price increase of 5%, let's just say every quarter, let's just say, so that's already a 20% increase. Well, when you look at it, if you put your money in a bank, where can you get a 20% interest in 1 year?
No.
It doesn't happen like that. That's a very
it.
good thing.
Yeah.
Okay, and then,
but another thing that if you're going to invest in the Philippines, the location is something that you have to look into consideration.
Oh, that's right.
The location, because there's a lot of developers in the Philippines popping up, but you have to know the location. Normally, if you want to invest in the Philippines, you invest in a business district.
Yes.
Or on an estate wherein there is a combination of a mall, and also it's very near transportation at the center. So location very important, because normally projects or developments that's near a what do you call it, subway or MRT normally increases its price over time.
Wow. So that's a seller.
Yes.
Transportation is easy.
Yes.
Can you imagine, mga kaibigan, right? What Mai is actually, the way I picture it, Mai, right? Can you imagine you're now living in Japan? That there's a lot of accessible, transportation available to you. Well, you buy a condominium in Timbuktu. I don't know, so there's no transportation yet. Okay, got it. Okay.
So right now, the government has a lot of infrastructure projects.
Yes.
So you have your Metro Manila subway, you have your MRT4s, all currently being constructed.
Yes.
So this is actually the best time to invest in the Philippines while it's being constructed, pre-selling, so that once those projects are done, it's at the same time the different projects of the infrastructure also done.
Yes.
So kumita ka na.
That's right. That's
Right.
equity. I'll take it
Equity.
anytime, di ba?
Right.
So, can you imagine, mga kaibigan, you already earned 20% after 12 months. I'll take it anytime, right? You multiply that. For example, pre-selling is 5 years.
Right.
Oh, that's 100% already. You haven't even, the project is not even done yet. You already have 100% equity. That's a beautiful investment. Wow. So can you imagine, mga kaibigan, if you just put a little bit of a creativity on your mind right now and dream about how your money is going to be working for you, definitely that's a good way on how to do it. Very good.
Can I just add?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
You can also actually earn from rental income.
So when you have your property already turned over to you,
Yes.
you can
So
have
most companies will have a residential leasing group that you don't have to come home. This residential group can already help you lease out your units.
Oh, wow.
Find lessors, help you manage the property. So you can earn from
Property
it even
management,
without
right?
coming home to
Wow.
the Philippines.
I want to talk more about that later on, because that's a good seller too. Investing in the Philippines, so that's very good. One of the things that might pop into people's mind, is that, hey, maybe this is a good question 20, 30 years ago when condominiums started popping here and there about, hey, I'm buying air. How sure am I that my investment is gonna happen? Because I don't see the project. All I see are pictures. So maybe about the company credibility, how does it work?
That's where you should be mindful of.
Okay.
When you're buying a property in the Philippines, the track record of the developer is very important.
Correct.
So you have to really do your own research.
Due
The
diligence.
seller who comes here and sell to you can tell you all the beautiful stories about the project.
Yes.
But you, as a buyer, you have to be responsible enough to really learn about the track record of the developer.
Yes, I agree.
Right? Making sure that everything is done according to what was promised.
Exactly.
At the same time, you also look into their customer care department, making sure that they have a customer care group that will assist you once the units are available or the project is for turnover.
Wow.
Because that's the problem when the seller is not anymore there. The developer should you can communicate immediately to the developer.
That's
right?
that's a seller, yeah.
Because
That's correct.
these sellers, they come and go.
That's right.
But the developer should always be there for their buyers.
Correct.
Right?
Basically, mga kaibigan, the way Mai actually explained it, it's of course the track record of the company. Well, you worked with the company 92 years, so that says a lot, right? So in finance here in the United States, it's the same thing. The carrier needs to have a good track record, been in the business for a while, and there's a serious history already of how they were serving the what do you call this, their customers. So that's very good. I like that. How about documentation? If people are buying from the United States, they want to invest because we're so big in documentation and the paper trails and the requirements that's needed. What documentation do you guys need?
Well, definitely there are steps. There's a process where whenever you purchase a property from the Philippines, it's not like just buying a dog or something so easy, right?
Yeah.
There are some documentations that are required. First, of course, you have to fill up the reservation agreement forms.
Okay.
You have to provide the necessary IDs, identification, passport for people who are not based in the Philippines. And of course, we do have some companies, some developers do credit evaluation.
Oh, really?
Yes,
we
do
wow.
that.
It's not only the know your customer file. No.
Wow. You have to have that. But of course, it's not going to be very intrusive.
Okay.
But you have to have that check. No?
Okay.
Especially the ones who just, because we want the buyer to buy until the very end, not just until reservation.
That's right.
Because cancellation can be rampant at times.
Okay.
So aside from that, the usual documentations will be asked. Like you have to sign the official payment schedule.
Schedule.
So that you know the monthly payments that you need to make sure that you buy at a certain period, you pay at a certain period.
Okay.
And I think that's it. There are just some information, like for example, marriage certificate.
You need those documentations.
Yes, especially if
how
you're buying
about
a
consular? What do you call this?
The contract to sell.
Okay,
That's
CTS.
Yes. Right now, you can already apostille.
Oh,
you don't have that. You don't need to consularize it
anymore.
anymore.
Very
so
good. So I'm the old school, mga kaibigan, okay?
so you just have to apostille it first.
Very good. So we have a lot of those here in Vegas anyway that can help us with that apostille.
So normally the contract to sell is provided by the developer at least a month to 2 months upon paying the first monthly amortization. Sorry, it has to be provided by the company 30 days.
30 days.
From the reservation.
From the reservation. So it happens in the very beginning.
It should be.
Okay.
It should be. But of course, it's not always... That doesn't always happen like in a perfect world.
Of course.
So within 60 days maybe.
Okay, that's very good to know. So that made it easier. So during my time, oh my God. So we don't have that. But that's good. That's good to know. So once payment has been made, so... show us the how it's being done to have this investment. For example, a lot of people I don't have cash to pay a condominium. So you were talking about payment schedule. How does it work?
So what's good about buying now? A lot of developers are offering stretch payment terms.
What do you mean by stretch payment
When
terms?
you say stretch payment terms, you get 20% of the whole contract price.
Okay.
And you usually stretch that into maybe 5 years. Or 6 years.
Oh, okay.
So you just do a monthly. So if you're, let's say, buying how much? 1 million?
Yeah. If, for example, $1 million peso condominium, for example.
There's a 1 million peso condo.
There's nothing like that, mga kaibigan. But
more or less, you're just paying maybe around $300.
Okay.
To $500
a month.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me just hope I got it clear on that perspective. So, for example, you have a 5 million peso condominium. So I don't have 5 million. So you're going to say, hey, give me 20% of that, which is the down payment. Okay, so that 20%, you can still stretch it the way that you said it.
Yes, zero interest.
With zero interest for, let's just say, 5 years.
Yes.
So after 5 years, I already paid the down payment.
Yes.
Oh, I love that. Okay, that's very good. Now, the 5 years is when the condominium is
being constructed. Yes.
Now, after 5 years, it's done. Is that mine?
Not yet.
Not yet.
You
Okay.
have to pay the balance.
Oh, I have to pay the balance.
Which is
the
80%.
The 80%. How do I pay the balance?
Well, you can pay it in cash.
Okay, I don't have it.
Or you can either loan it.
Oh, loan it. Very good.
Yes.
Okay.
But like most companies, we don't offer, with our companies who offer like in-house financing.
Okay.
But unfortunately, for my company, we don't have in-house finance. So normally we actually
outsource it.
Yes, outsource it with banks.
Okay.
We have partner banks to help us with the loan.
Oh, that's very good. I actually like it. Okay, so I paid the 20% in the on the first 5 years, right? The 80% I can actually get it loaned.
Yes.
So I'm here in the United States. Can I get that loan in the Philippines?
Yes, actually.
Oh, wow.
But of course, it depends on the bank.
Oh, okay. Yes. It depends on the bank.
Because not every there are, well, normally it's only for Filipinos when you want to loan in the Philippines.
Oh, only for Filipinos if you want to loan in the Philippines.
I'm not yet sure. I'm not actually very sure. But before there were banks in the Philippines that could offer loans for foreigners.
Okay, we'll find that out then,
but
right?
I will find that out for you. I'm so sorry.
Okay, that's okay. So, so now I got a loan from a financing company in the Philippines. By the way, guys, you know, the way I look at it, you can get a loan from a financing company in the Philippines. They can help you find those companies that can loan you out, or you can have a personal loan here in the United States. Maybe, right? Anything that will be able to pay that 80%, right?
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
So now I got a loan. Is that property mine now?
Once you fully pay the property?
Or no, I paid the 20% for 5 years, and then I got approved for a loan. The financing company paid you already. Is that property mine already?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Okay, so I only paid 20% during that 5 years. Now that might, so it means that I can use that already.
Yes.
Oh wow,
Yes.
That's what you call turnover, mga kaibigan.
And then you can already have it rented out.
I can have it rented out or use it, right?
To pay for the loan.
Oh, yeah, why not? That's self-liquidating.
That's
I'll be
self-liquidating.
doing the same thing. There you go, guys. So that's where the investment comes in. So you pay the down payment in 5 years or only 20%, but the equity is growing during the time that you were paying the down payment. How can you get wrong, right? So, and then after 5 years, you haven't paid the whole amount, but that's yours already, that you can have it rented out. Man, I love the business, right?
Passive income.
So there you go, guys. So you can have a passive income, money working for you. You're actually using other people's money, OPM, and then you have a business ongoing while you're still here in the United States. Now, you're actually talking to me about, you can actually talking about, what do you call this? About somebody that can manage the property for you.
Yes. So for usually there are property management groups
Okay.
in the development. So for example,
okay.
for Ortigas land, we do have a property management group to help provide you with that, to help you manage while you're here.
Wow.
So we also have.
So I do not have to be there. Hey, you know what's happening? No,
Yes.
so that's
yes,
very good.
and we also have what we call an Ortigas Link app.
Okay.
So that you know what the status of your payments. You can easily communicate to the developer
Oh, it's all online.
to answer your any questions.
Wow.
Like,
Service.
yes, can I get a copy of my statement of account?
That's exactly. Those are the questions that we had so long ago. 20 years ago, maybe when condominium starts to sprout here and there in the Philippines. What's the update? Who's going to help me after the selling, the documentation process? Where am I at? How much have I paid already, etc. So you mean that today we can easily have access to those?
Yes, and in Ortigas land, we're not as big as the other developers yet. So our how do you call it? The way we respond to our buyers would be faster.
Oh, I like that.
Answer
I like
to
fast.
inquiries is faster. So that's one of the things that we actually focus on in terms of our service, to make sure that, especially the ones abroad, that if they have any questions, we immediately get back to them
That's
and
perfect.
answer whatever concerns
Yeah.
are.
In fact, that's a concern because especially people living here in the United States and then they have an investment in the Philippines, the communication is going to be, well, today the digital age right
It
now,
helps, yeah.
it actually creates faster communication. Very
Definitely,
good. That's a good thing, right? Well, the next question should be: is it really wise to buy a condominium in the Philippines rather than investing my money in the United States?
Well, that I can only answer for investing in the Philippines because I don't know the difference right now with the U.S. But definitely properties in the Philippines are cheaper.
Oh, yeah.
And in terms of opportunities of growth, definitely the property in the Philippines are growing consistently over time, even during the pandemic.
Yeah, exactly what we're talking about, the
People were still
economy.
buying properties during the pandemic.
Wow.
Yes. Investors may not be buying the high-end ones, but they were still purchasing and putting their money in property.
Wow.
And during the pandemic, a lot of developers were offering really good terms. Really good terms. And
Okay.
if you have the money, take advantage of that.
There you go. So, mga kaibigan, that's exactly why we're talking about properties in the Philippines. So you have a clear picture of how is it or why should I be investing in the Philippines, especially in condominium? Well, I see the perks now. The payment scheme stretches. Somebody will manage it. The turnover, the availability of loans. That's actually making it easier for people who's going to be investing there. Now, how does ownership of condominium in the Philippines work?
Well, there's this misconception that you can only actually own the property for 50 years. That's not true.
Okay.
So there's what we call freehold ownership in the Philippines.
Freehold ownership.
So
Okay.
it means that even if you pass away, that ownership is yours, and you can actually, pamana
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
to your
Transfer,
heirs,
yeah.
transfer to your heirs eventually, and most developers are offering that freehold ownership.
Oh, wow.
And the proof of freehold ownership is your condominium certificate title.
Oh wow, there you go. So that's exactly where I'm heading at the question. So mga kaibigan, if you own a land in the Philippines, so you have a title certificate, right?
Yeah.
Land title certificate, right? Now, if you own a condominium, you also have it.
Yes.
But it's called CCT again.
CCT is a condominium certificate title.
There you go. So you have a document that says that you own a property, a part. So basically, how I look at it, is there's a huge building. You own a part of it, so you're an aggregate owner.
You're like because
Yeah.
it's required by the government that upon completion and turnover of properties, like
Okay.
a building, a residential building, you have to have a condominium corporation.
Oh.
So immediately, all owners
are
part
owner.
of that
There you
corporation.
go. Got it.
You're a shareholder of that. So what you ever want to do with that property later
Yeah.
on, you have a say in it.
Very good. So in a condominium, you own an aggregate or for example, you bought one. You just own that property, but the public usage, except for the parking area, that's not public, right? So the public, like whatever amenities that you have there, you're all owners of that amenities,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Wow! Can you imagine? Oh, I have a swimming pool in my condominium.
So it's
right?
for life.
It's for life.
It's not just for 50 years.
Yeah, see, that's a misconception. Very good. So now, we were talking about dual citizenship a while ago, and then, Yon was just showing us about dual citizenship. So, number one question is, I'm not a Filipino anymore, or I'm 100% American right now. Can I buy a condominium unit?
Definitely.
Definitely.
Well, you're considered a foreigner if you already changed citizenship.
Okay.
So, but for every condominium property, 40% can be owned by foreigners.
Okay.
For any corporation, that's
Okay.
40%.
Okay.
So definitely, there's no problem if you want to purchase.
Okay, basically, let me understand it right. So in the whole building, at least 60% is being owned by Filipinos.
Should be.
And 40% foreigners.
Yes.
So basically, I am a U.S. citizen,
Yeah.
not a Filipino. I can still own a property there
Yes.
as long I belong to that 40%.
And if you are a dual citizen, you're counted as Filipino because you're still Filipino.
Oh, okay. So if it's dual citizen.
Yeah, you just use your Filipino passport
Oh, that's very good.
in all the IDs.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? So that's so mga kaibigan, there you go. So if you are already a U.S. citizen and you're not Filipino anymore, you can still own condominiums there. Now, you do not have to have a dual citizenship to purchase it because of that fact. But then, of course, if you want to go dual citizenship, you can still use the Filipino, this passport to avail of that.
Yes, definitely.
I got it right. Okay, thank you so much for that, Mike. So now, so I have already my condominium. I have my already somebody managing it. So everything's doing very well. What are fees associated in buying a condominium? Are there fees aside from paying all of this?
Well, there's normally a turnover fee.
A turnover fee? What does it
Yes.
mean? After
That it
paying the
actually-
20%?
After 20%,
Okay.
and once you've paid the 80% through your loan,
Okay.
there's normally a turnover fee that covers the taxes. The taxes and also the electricity.
The connection. Oh yeah, that's
processing,
anywhere in
So
the world we
that's-
have that.
And then after that, once it's turned over to you, there's normally a condo dues.
Do you have a owners homeowners association?
Yes,
Okay,
to
very
help,
good.
of course, maintain the amenity areas.
Definitely, yeah.
And of course, on top of that, you have to pay the property tax.
Oh yeah, that's government.
That's
there.
part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's
that's
it.
very good. Yeah, well, everybody who owns a house pays
that's
the
part of
property
it, yeah.
tax, right? And then if you're in a private subdivision in the Philippines, you still have to pay
It's the same.
homeowners association.
It's
the
the
same.
same.
So it makes sense. So there you go, mga kaibigan. So when you own, after paying the 20%, now you have a loan. Definitely, there's other fees expected to pay, which you should know, because you're putting your investment in there. You have your like the homeowners association fees. Now, of course, the property taxes you pay yearly, maybe, right?
Annual. Yeah.
Annually. So, and then connection of your electricity. Of course, you would want to have electricity. Well, you're going to be paying that connection fee.
Yes.
If you want to put what's this, Wi-Fi.
That's separate.
That's separate
That's on
too,
your own.
right? So that's on your own. So, mga kaibigan, just like owning a property in the United States, so there's no difference about the fees. Thank you so much for that. So, we were talking about 50 years old. That's not true. There's a misconception about 50 years old in a condominium.
50-year ownership.
50-year ownership, I mean. Yep. So, do condos lose value over time?
Well, definitely, because
You know?
it can run down.
Okay.
So it depends on the functionality of the condo. If it's still, kaya pa.
Yeah.
But if it's not, that's where the condominium board decides on what to do with the property. If you sell it,
Okay.
or usually you sell it.
Yeah, that's this whole corporation deciding
Yes.
for
It depends
that.
on the structure also of the building.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, well, just like the buildings in Makati, it's the same
Yeah,
thing. Any structure, anyway.
Yeah.
So that's very good. So, well, what I mean here is, does it lose value over time? Of course, when the time comes, right? We're not talking about inflation here, guys. No, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about a Philippine economy. So I'm talking about the value of the condominium over time. Does it lose value over the supposed to be value as an asset over time? So
It
yeah,
depends
just
on
like a car, maybe.
I mean, it depends on the location.
On location too, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So normally it goes up.
Yeah.
Especially once it's done, you want to resell it eventually.
Yeah.
It goes up.
Oh, very
but
good.
it always depends on the location.
That's very important.
Yeah.
That's why we need to know when buying condominium, location,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay.
Because there's definitely, just an example, in BGC, we were selling projects there at, let's say, around 3.1 million.
Okay.
So when it was done, it was around 5 million.
Okay.
But now it's selling at 6 to 8 million.
Oh wow.
Because it's BGC.
Yeah. There's a
And because-
location.
And
yeah.
there's a lot of new commercial areas that popped up near.
And
the
that adds
residential.
the value of
to it.
Very good, yeah.
So that's an example.
So that's why you were talking about estate a while ago.
Yes.
Okay.
Not all developers can say that they they do estate
Oh
selling.
yeah, I know that. Oh my God, yeah, I
'Cause,
know. Yeah.
Ortigas Land is one of those developers.
Yes.
Because when you live in our estate, you get to live, work, shop, play,
Yeah.
do all of that because it's all in that area.
In that same area.
Walkability
Yeah.
to the mall, walkability to your office.
Yeah.
No, it's all in that area.
Actually, that's a good thing. I remember there's this developer at one point. The building is just so beautiful, but surrounding it are all shanties. So
and then there's an example. They say, "Oh, our location is very nice," but it's not in a central business district.
that's another thing.
So to
Yeah.
get to where the action is,
Yeah.
you still have to commute,
Yeah,
and that's an added cost
that's right.
instead of buying where the action is.
Yeah, exactly.
so-
That's a seller. You have to consider that. So, mga kaibigan, when you start looking at investing in the Philippines, especially on the condominium platform, so we saw already the value going up, and just on the pre-selling. So you want to look at those properties on the pre-selling. But again, it depends on your purpose, just like what Mai said a while ago. So, by the way, we were talking about the aggregate ownership of the whole building corporation. That includes the land, right?
Yes.
So
that includes the land.
The land is also part of the condominium corporation. You were saying board, right?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So, in a again, we're talking about CCT. When do we get the condominium certificate title?
Once you're fully paid.
Am I fully paid?
Sorry, the CCT?
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought.
Yeah.
The CCT is usually they give it within 30 or 60 days. So upon payment, first monthly amortization.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. So
because after that, you have to get your deed of absolute sale, the DOAS.
Oh, that's a different one.
The last document that you will sign that proves that you really.
So the DOA is.
Sorry, I got so confused. I'm so
okay,
sorry.
It's okay.
You said CC.
There's the condominium certificate title.
Oh, so that's once you're fully paid.
Once you're fully paid.
In my head, it was contract to sell.
Okay,
so
the
sorry
CTS,
about,
right?
CTS,
Yeah,
so sorry.
there's a lot of
Sorry.
acronyms in the condominium world,
I got confused.
So there's what you call the CTS. That is correct.
That's the contract
to sell. That's the first document that you sign.
Yes.
When you're about to buy, when you buy a condominium.
Correct.
When you give your reservation fee, your RF. There's a lot of acronyms, right? All right. So that's the contract to sell.
Yes.
Then after paying that 5 years, when the bank or financial institution pays the developer the 80%, that's considered fully paid already.
Yes, and then you get the deed of
absolute sale, the DOAS. There you go.
And after the DOAS, you get your
title already, because the absolute sale will say that it is yours already. Now you go to the registrar's office and get
but
your
I just want to manage everyone's expectations. Your question is, when do you get your title?
Yeah,
sometimes there are delays.
Oh, okay.
So
that's not the developer's problem anymore, right?
Sometimes you have to manage with getting the title in the
That's
transfer, because you're transferring it from the name of the developer to the new owners.
Oh, that's right.
That's why the title sometimes takes some time.
Yeah, even here in the United States, anyway. Well, I'm actually lying. It takes 2 weeks here.
No, it's a bit longer in the Philippines, definitely. But what's good about it is that as long as you are working with a good developer, you can actually, it's still faster than usual.
That's very good. Okay, now we're gonna go back to you again, Miss Mai. Why Ortigas? I know it's a brand name. I grew up with Green Hills. I grew up with the Ortigas Center. I'm very familiar with all of those, especially Valle Verde. I used to live there. I used to go to Green Hills and all of this. So why Ortigas?
Well, let me give you 5 reasons.
Okay.
Let me see if it's 5. So first, location.
Okay.
So we are located in a very good, it's a central business district.
Yeah.
It's number 2, it's accessible.
Yeah.
The walkability of our projects. Number 3, we have very good payment terms.
Okay.
It's stretched. And only 4. And then the last would be, of course, we have after sales. No.
Yeah, that's the most important thing.
We can provide assistance after you've already purchased the unit. Once you're living it. The living experience.
Yeah.
So we have property management, we have residential leasing. So that's something that actually the number
after
4,
sales.
yes.
Yeah.
The living experience, because there's 2 parts: the buying experience and the living experience.
Exactly. Yeah.
Definitely, we covered both.
That's a good thing.
So I think
accessibility, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And our investors have seen this, because most of our investors are repeat investors.
Yeah.
They just wait for the next project that we launch, and then they really go for it.
Yeah.
We recently launched one project. It's called All In at J Drive. It's located at the center.
I know J Drive.
Yes, J Drive.
Yeah.
It's near Tech-Tite.
Yeah, Tech-Tite building.
Building.
Yeah.
It's there. It's at the center.
Yeah.
Okay. Usually, projects like this at this price point with this payment term is located at the fringe.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, it's not in the center of a CBD.
That's right.
That's why when we launched it last April, it was a blockbuster.
Yeah.
And we're still selling it right now. We still have available units.
Okay.
That you can still take on that opportunity.
Yeah.
But,
that's actually a very good thing that you said. Sorry, Mai. When you say, mga kaibigan, when she was saying about Central Business District, it's actually center of the center.
Yes.
You know, because it's centered to the south and it's centered to the north.
Just an added, Ortigas Business District is equidistant to the North Expressway and the South Expressway.
Can you imagine that?
So talagang gitna siya.
That's exactly the whole
really
point, right?
in the middle. So if you want to, let's say, invest in the Philippines or maybe use it, you be in the middle. So Ortigas is actually the best CBD that you can. And it's very close to Bonifacio.
10 minutes away from BGC. There you go.
The link, it's called the BGC Ortigas link.
Yeah. That was the new bridge that's
a flyover that connects BGC and Ortigas, and the travel time is 10 minutes.
That's great. You know, so those are the reason why, right? So,
definitely.
And of course, you know, Ortigas has been a brand for a long time. You know, so 92 years of a brand there.
92, turning 93.
Wow. That's not my age, mga kaibigan, okay? So, very good. So, how do they get in touch with you, man?
Well, definitely we do have our website. It's www.ortigasland.com.ph. And you can email me at my email address that's Garcia, MAJH, @ortigas.com.ph.
Wow. So, mga kaibigan, all right? So, if you want to know more about, about investing in the Philippines, especially on a very specific platform, get in touch with My Garcia. By the way, she's the head of sales of, what do you call the company again?
Ortigas
Land. There you go, mga kaibigan. Ortigas Land. All right. So, any parting words for us, Miss Mai?
Well, I just want to say thank you for having me in your toolbox. Can you say that? And I hope our viewers tonight actually learned in investing, because it's property. You never go wrong with property.
Yeah. Awesome. So, mga kaibigan, you heard it from the head of sales of Ortigas Land. That's My Garcia. So if you need more information about her, maybe they can Google your name too for Ortigas Land. So I think that's just it for us tonight. Again, thank you so much for being here with us, Mai.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving us light on investing condominiums in the Philippines. Mga kaibigan, hanggang dito na lang po tayo until our next episode. My name again is Enrico Pobre. You're listening to In My Toolbox. I'm signing off.